Revealed how a poor maid, thrown out and broken, encountered a billionaire's son and found a ally. Lily tightened her grip around the bucket of soapy water, heart racing as she stood before the penthouse door. The place shimmered like a distant star, teeming with the kind of wealth she only glimpsed through glitzy magazine spreads. Inside lived a tech billionaire, and somewhere near the top of her mind, she hoped it could be an entry point to a better life for little Emma. She took a deep breath, reminding herself that her hard work could lead to brighter tomorrows. As the door swung open, an overwhelming scent of fresh lilies invaded her senses. For a moment, her worries faded, hope blossomed just like the flowers. She stepped through the door, glancing around in awe. The view made her breath catch. A sprawling city skyline stretched for miles, but beneath the glitter, anxiety skittered through her veins. This was far from her cramped apartment where she shared every nook with Emma's colorful crayons. Minutes turned into hours as she scrubbed at the marble floors and dusted the frames that held glamorous family portraits. But when she lost herself in her thoughts dreaming of Emma's laughter filled with expensive toys and safe neighborhoods, she accidentally tipped the bucket. Soapy water cascaded across the floor, and time froze. Suddenly, a voice, smooth and commanding, pierced through her embarrassment. What? The Alex, the billionaire's son, stood there, eyes wide, and for a moment, everything felt as if it was tumbling down with that spilled water. "You're hired to clean, not flood." His words were sharp, but she could feel something else simmering beneath the surface. Lily's cheeks burned. "I'm so sorry." Before she could finish, the tension ignited, leading to a heated exchange that ended with her being unjustly fired. The door slammed behind her, a gavel falling. Tears pricked her eyes, but she blinked them away. She had responsibilities that couldn't wait for a comforting hug. As she trudged numb through the bustling streets of Chicago, the burden of bills and Emma's needs crushed her spirit. Meanwhile, Alex was left reeling. He never had a reason to question his privilege. A simple encounter shattered his comfortable view of the world. Something deep within him ignited a hunger for understanding. As he ventured into the neighboring communities, he saw the harsh realities faced by people like Lily, their resilience tugging at his heartstrings, but tension simmered beneath the urban charm. With each step, Lily felt the world scrutinize her, especially those with wealth who turned their noses up at her kind. That day, she wrestled with the weight of prejudice and the reluctance of her family to truly see her potential beyond being a maid. Just as a thread of connection seemed to loom between her and Alex, a scandal hit his family, threatening to rip their worlds apart. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Just when everything felt hopeless, Lily found her courage. She stood up against the classism that had shackled her, proclaiming her worth to anyone who would listen. The community rallied behind her. Here was a woman refusing to be defined by her position, a symbol of hope growing brighter with each word she spoke. As the pressure mounted, she felt an undeniable pull to confront Alex about the choices he made. Scandals be damned. Her heart raced at the thought of unearthing deeper truths about both their lives. This was a pivotal moment, and the air crackled with unspoken questions. Could love and understanding transcend the barriers between them? Would they find a path forward in the storm? The world tilted on that precipice, as both characters stood ready to leap into the unknown, leaving everyone anxious for the next chapter of their intertwining destiny. Lily took a shaky breath, her heart hammering as she approached the community center where the rally was set to take place. The low hum of voices filled the air, a mix of excitement and urgency. As she stepped inside, she saw familiar faces, neighbors, friends, people who understood her struggle. They were gathered, forming a web of support to stand up against the injustices they faced every day. With each step, her resolve strengthened. She climbed onto the makeshift stage, the spotlight illuminating her face. For a brief moment, Fear threatened to derail her, but the sight of Emma's smiling face in her mind pushed her forward. She cleared her throat, and the crowd fell silent. "Thank you all for being here today." Her voice rang out, stronger than she imagined possible. The room responded with nods and murmurs of encouragement. "We deserve more. Our families deserve better." An ember of determination bloomed in her chest. As she spoke about the struggles of single mothers and the importance of community support, she saw a flicker of recognition in their eyes, a shared understanding of their plight. Outside, Alex watched from a distance, his heart squeezing at every word Lily shared. He had always believed he understood struggle, but now he felt like an outsider in a world of privilege. The fire in Lily's voice ignited something inside him, a matching desire to break free from his own gilded cage. Determined to connect, he pushed through the crowd to reach the front, paying no mind to whispers about his presence. As logical and calculated as he'd always been, witnessing Lily's raw strength made him rethink everything. He had to know more about why this brilliant woman had entered his life, even if it was through that messy accident. Lily spotted him, broad shoulders standing out among her neighbors. The warmth she felt from the crowd clashed with the rush of anxiety bubbling up inside her. Did he come to mock her? But as their eyes met, she saw something different: curiosity, respect. Still, doubt clouded her thoughts. Was she ready to let him back in? After the rally, people began to disperse, but Alex remained. He approached her, and time seemed to stretch between them. "Lily," he started softly, "you were incredible up there. I had no idea how strong you really are." Her heart raced. "What do you want, Alex? To take notes on how the other half lives?" He shook his head, frustration evident in his expression. "I want to understand. I want to help." "Help how? By throwing money at the problem? That doesn't solve anything." The connection between them fumed with tension, both shaken by their prior misunderstandings. "I know that's not enough, not by a long shot. But maybe together we can find a way to do more." His sincerity cut through her defenses, revealing the vulnerability beneath his polished exterior. Just as she opened her mouth to respond, a loud commotion erupted behind them. A group of reporters had arrived, looking for the latest scoop on Alex's family. Just like that, the moment slipped away, replaced by frantic flashes of cameras and eager questions. Lily's heart sank. This was the chaos she fought against. Before she could lose her courage, she turned to Alex. "I can't go back to being just another story. Not like that. We'll figure it out," he promised, reaching for her hand yet pulling back at the last moment. "I want to let them define you. Let them see the truth." The urgency of the crowd surrounded them, but beneath the noise, new possibilities hung in the air. Torn between their past and a future yet unwritten, both had one question in their minds: could they navigate the treacherous waters that lay ahead together? And as the careless whispers of the reporters danced ominously around them, a fleeting thought passed through Lily's mind: was she ready to trust once more, even with so much at risk? The questions swirled around Lily like the dust kicked up by the reporters' feet. Her heart raced, thumping loudly in her chest as the cameras clicked rapidly, capturing every angle of Alex's strained expression next to her. For a fleeting moment, she regretted stepping onto the stage. That warmth she'd felt just minutes ago was now overshadowed by a heavy cloud of uncertainty. Alex reached for her again, this time firm and steady. "Lily, let us step outside." His voice was urgent, but Lily hesitated. The crowd behind her still buzzed with energy, voices raised as they clamored to understand what was happening. Suddenly, the spotlight that had felt empowering now felt like a spotlight of shame, revealing more of her scars than she wanted. She tore her gaze away from Alex, scanning the sea of faces. Some were friendly, supportive, but others held a look of judgment. It all felt like too much. "No," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I can't do this." His hand tightened around hers. "You don't have to face it alone. I know you feel exposed right now. But I swear, I'm not here to exploit you. She looked deep into his eyes, searching for any hint of insincerity. Instead, she found a vulnerability she had never seen before. He was standing there, amidst the chaos, willing to face it with her. Was it enough? Before she could answer, the reporters surged closer, their questions slicing through the tension like a knife. What is your relationship with Alex Sullivan? Are you just using him for attention? Lily's breathing quickened. Tears pricked at the corners of her eyes. This was not what she wanted. She fought all her life to have her voice be heard on her own terms, not through a media circus. I'm not just a headline, she exclaimed, the words flowing out of her. I want to be seen for me, not as a side story. The pens paused, and the cameras fell silent. For a moment, it felt like the world stopped. Even Alex looked taken aback, his eyes wide with respect and admiration. That's right. Someone from the crowd shouted, breaking the temporary stillness. We need to know what Lily thinks. She has been fighting for us. Lily's heart swelled, just a little. Maybe there was power in this. Maybe together they could shift the narrative. Still shaking, she turned back to Alex. What do you propose we do? She asked, an ember of hope igniting in her chest. He looked down for a moment, contemplating, then back at her with fierce determination. Let us tell your story on your terms. We can host a follow-up town hall meeting and reach more people. We can bring the issues facing the community to light without twisting the truth. I'll use whatever connections I have to make that happen. Lily felt the spark of change flicker to life again, but with it came the weight of new responsibility. Could she really harness this moment? And could she trust Alex not to let her down? Before she could respond, the atmosphere shifted sharply. A tall figure pushed forward another reporter, wearing an aggressive smirk and brandishing his microphone like a weapon. Alex. How does it feel to be associated with a woman from such a rough background? Have you lost your morals? Lily's heart sank, anger coiling within her. That's enough. She cried, stepping forward, fueled by a fierce protectiveness for both herself and the community that had been her lifeline. The laughter and chatter around her faded into an intense silence as all eyes turned to her. This was her moment. I am more than my struggles. I am a mother, a neighbor, a fighter. You want a story? Fine. Let it be about the resilience of this community, about the women who work every day just to keep their families afloat. A thunderous cheer erupted from the crowd, echoing off the walls of the community center, sending chills down her spine. The reporter's smirk faltered, and she caught a glimpse of respect from the once skeptical spectators. Could it be? But before Lily could take in the moment, Alex pulled her closer, his voice barely a whisper. That was incredible. Are you ready for what's next? With a heart as full as the burgeoning hope inside her, she nodded, but the familiar flutter of doubt buzzed just beneath the surface. As they turned to face the crowd still buzzing with excitement, her heart raced with anticipation. Uncertainty lingered in the air, but the fire ignited between them now led to a path uncharted. Was she prepared for the challenges this new partnership would bring? And as the crowd erupted in cheers, she realized that this moment was just the beginning. It would either lead them to triumph or test them beyond their limits. But in that moment, all she felt was the fierce determination to reclaim not just her story, but the story of everyone around her. The cheers from the crowd faded, wrapping Lily in a tight cocoon of adrenaline and fear. Alex's eyes shone with admiration, but she could see the worry simmering just beneath the surface. No one had ever looked at her that way before, as someone worthy of this kind of belief, but now it felt heavy on her shoulders. What now? Lily asked, her voice almost cracking under the weight of her uncertainty. Alex smiled, a soft, encouraging gesture that helped calm the storm inside her. We regroup and plan. We need a strategy to make sure your voice is heard far and wide. No more headlines that twist your story. Let us highlight the truth. A small part of her thrilled at the idea. To be in control of the narrative for once, instead of being a pawn in someone else's game. Still, Another part whispered doubts, could she really bear the burden of so many hopes? Doubts crept in like shadows, threatening to swallow the light she just felt. They stepped away from the media frenzy, the hallway dimly lit and filled with murmurs of disbelief and admiration. It felt surreal to be a part of something so important and yet so terrifying. As they reached a quiet corner, Alex turned to her. "You sparked something out there, Lily. People want to hear your story beyond what the tabloids say. We both know how unfair the world can be. But together, we can work to change the narrative." Her heart skipped. There was fire in his words, a fierce determination that mirrored her own rising resolve. But reality seeped in, pulling her focus back to the enormity of their commitment. What if I can't do it? What if I fail? Alex's expression softened. "Lily, everyone has fears. It's what we do with them that matters. You've already inspired so many today." He stepped closer, so close she could feel the warmth radiating from him. "Don't let doubt steal this moment from you." His words wrapped around her like a safety net, but concern lingered. "What if they come after us?" she asked. "The press, the people who want to tear us down. I can't go through another media storm." "They will try," he acknowledged, his voice steady. "But we'll be ready. And we'll have each other's backs. Whatever happens, we'll face it together." That promise stirred something deep inside her, a mix of trust and vulnerability she hadn't felt in a long time. The world had often felt like a lonely battle, here was the promise of a partner. "Okay," she agreed, a new sense of determination filling her. "Let us do it." Just as she said it, a familiar face appeared at the edge of their secluded corner, and her heart dropped. Emily, her best friend, looked like she'd just stepped off a roller coaster, emotions written all over her face. "Lily!" she gasped, rushing toward them. "I saw everything. That was amazing. Are you okay?" Lily cracked a smile, even through her nervous energy. "Yeah, I think I am." "Are you kidding? You were incredible." Emily's eyes sparkled with excitement. Lily glanced at Alex, who nodded, sharing her smile as if it was a secret between them. Emily deserved to know the truth. Everything had changed, but for the better. "I need your help, Em. We have plans, and I want you by my side." "What plans? Tell me." There was a fire in Lily's heart now. "I want to organize a town hall meeting. We need to talk about real issues, our community. We can be a voice for so many." Emily's mouth dropped open in disbelief. "You're serious?" "Yes. But I can't do it alone. I need you." Emily beamed, her enthusiasm infectious. "You can count on me." As the three began to strategize, the room buzzed with a renewed sense of hope. They needed to build momentum quickly, to gather their community and foster real conversations, but in the back of Lily's mind, a shadow lingered, a fear of what awaited. How far would the press go to tear down this moment? She could already feel it rising again beneath the surface. And then, from that haze of thought, she heard the one last question that cut through the air. "So what's next for the three of you? Are you ready for the fight to come?" Caught in that raw moment, realization crashed over her. This wasn't just about her anymore, it was about a whole community, ready to be seen and heard. What would it take to prepare for the storm ahead? Could they really rally everyone to join them in this fight? The energy in the room felt electric as the three friends began mapping out their vision. Papers scattered across the table, each scribbled word a new concept, a new dream. Emily flipped through headlines, finding anger and hope intertwined in the words. "Lily, we can't just plan a meeting. We need a movement. A real push for change." Her excitement was contagious. Lily's heart raced at the thought. A movement. The echoes of her own voice resonated louder than they ever had before. "You're right. It has to be more than just a talk. It's about actions." She could see the glimmer of ambition in Emily's eyes, the spark igniting something bigger than all of them. "Let us gather stories," Alex suggested, leaning forward. "We should share the real experiences of people in our community. There are so many who feel voiceless. We need their truths to shape this." Lily nodded, feeling emboldened. "Yes. We can invite families, local leaders, everyone who has felt unheard. Make it a space where people can actually feel safe to speak." A flood of emotion crashed over her. Could they really shift things? Could their small group of friends make an impact? It felt like setting sail into uncharted waters. But with each moment passed, conviction began to settle in the kind of conviction that made waves. As they strategized, her mind drifted back to that arena, the cheers and support. But what was it all really worth if they couldn't harness this moment? "Okay, so let us put a date out there. We need a venue where people can come together. Somewhere that feels safe yet powerful." Emily's fingers danced on her phone as she began searching for local community centers. "If we want to rally them, we need to give this all some weight. How about a school auditorium? It can hold a lot of people." "Perfect," Alex exclaimed, a grin spreading across his face. "Let us draft a compelling invitation, get people excited to join." But just as they were gaining momentum, Lily's phone buzzed aggressively on the table. A notification. She hesitated, dread pooling in the pit of her stomach. What if it's the press? She whispered, almost afraid to look. "Check it," Emily urged, excitement and worry mingling in her tone. With trembling hands, Lily lifted the phone. The message from a news outlet flashed across the screen, breaking: "The true story behind today's viral moment. Is this the real Lily?" Fear gripped her as she read the headline. Voices emerged in her mind, the rumors, the quick dismissals. What if it twisted everything they had just planned? What if they take this and spin it? Panic clawed at her. Alex reached out, squeezing her shoulder. "Lily, don't let them intimidate you. You have the power here. We're not going back into the shadows." "Right," Emily chimed in, rallying with excitement. "We can address this head-on. Use it as part of our movement. Show them you're not afraid." Lily took a deep breath, steadying herself. The thought of facing the storm made her chest tighten, but there was something liberating in claiming her power. "Let's respond. We state our truth. This is a chance to tell my story, our story." And with that, a newfound strength surged within her, igniting her purpose. They were not just entering a storm, they were preparing to navigate it. Together, outside, a rumble of thunder suddenly rolled in, echoing the turmoil brewing in her heart. "We're going to do this," she said firmly. "But we need to be smart. First things first," Alex grinned. "We'll need a social media campaign. We hit them with the truth while it's hot." Their ideas swirled around them like a cyclone of purpose. They crafted messages, designed flyers, and began building their online presence. And just as the sun dipped below the horizon, a flicker of uncertainty crossed Lily's mind. Would they be enough? Would they really make a difference? But as she looked at the passion reflected in Emily's eyes and the determination in Alex's face, she found her resolve again. "Okay, let us finalize the details. We'll gather the community and show them that their voices matter. And whatever comes next, we face it together." And with that statement, the room filled with a thunderous energy, the kind that made her believe they were on the brink of something monumental. But the snap of her phone broke the moment again. This time, it was a call, and deep down, she knew what it could mean. Would the call bring a chance for redemption, or would it lead them into uncharted danger? As Lily hesitated, staring at the bright screen, the question lingered: could they truly withstand the storm that was coming? Lily's heart raced as she glanced at the incoming call. Her mind swirled with possibilities. Would it be someone wanting to support their cause, or a reporter fishing for scandal? With a deep breath, she pressed accept. "Hello," she managed, her voice sounding steadier than she felt. Lily? It's Sarah, from the Community Outreach Program, came the familiar voice, vibrant yet professional. I just saw the news about you. They're spinning it the way they always do, but I believe in what you're trying to accomplish. Thanks, Sarah. Lily started, feeling the weight of the moment settle on her shoulders. I'm trying to keep everything together. Things have gotten out of control. Listen, Sarah interrupted gently, this could actually work in your favor. People are more likely to rally behind someone who speaks her truth, especially amidst the chaos. We've seen it before. Look at the protests from last year, they started with one voice. Hearing those words sparked something within her. You really think so? She asked hesitantly, looking over at Emily and Alex, who were both listening intently. They were ready for anything, her support system now more than ever. I know so, Sarah replied, her confidence radiating through the phone. You need to seize this opportunity. We can organize a community rally. Let us showcase your strength and the stories that matter. Bring in those voices that often go unheard. Lily glanced at her friends, excitement flickering in their eyes. You're right. We can do this. And I'll help you with the logistics, just take care of getting your voice out there. You get genuine, emotional testimony on social media, and I'll spread the word to some local activists, Sarah assured her. Okay. Yes. Lily's heart swelled with purpose. We'll create a platform for everyone. Let us make sure their experiences are shared widely. With one round of agreement, they started crafting posts for social media, reels of personal stories, adapted quotes, and vibrant graphics announcing the gathering of voices. Each one carried weight, and with every element, Lily felt the energy pooling in the room, but a moment later, her phone buzzed again, this time vibrating violently against the table. Another notification, she said, hesitating. It could be good, or it could be bad, Alex said, his brow furrowed. You should check. Don't let fear take over. Taking a deep breath, Lily opened the notification. Her breath caught in her throat. It was an article titled, The Real Story Behind Lily's Rise from Reluctance to Revolution. What does it say? Emily leaned closer, her eyes wide. Lily skimmed the words, her stomach twisting with every line. It's highlighting my past, all of it. Every mistake, every moment I've felt weak. But it touches on this movement about how I'm using my experience to rally people together. A silence settled in the room. This was unexpected. I'm being portrayed as beyond redemption, but I'm standing up for change. Does that matter? Lily's voice broke slightly with uncertainty. Of course, it matters, Alex said fiercely, eyes blazing. It shows you're real, and real people make connections. They relate to your struggles. They want to join you. Emily nodded vigorously, her passion evident. It gives you depth. You're not just some face behind a movement, you're someone who has been through it and is ready to fight back. Lily straightened in her seat and felt a flicker of resolve. Okay, if they want to paint me as a villain, then I'll turn it into a story of rising from the ashes. A phoenix reborn. With the rally date drawing closer, the reality of their mission set in. It would not be easy. They would face backlash, criticism, and perhaps a tide of opposition, but the pressure began to fill her with something new: determination. That's the spirit. Alex exclaimed, pumping his fist in the air. Let us show them what we're made of. Lily looked around the room, her heart swelling with gratitude. Together, we can face anything. But we need to keep focused. We can't lose sight of our true mission. As they finalized their plans for the rally, the room buzzed. They were on the verge of something profound. But a single thought pierced through her excitement: was she ready to confront the past that might come crashing back? Her phone buzzed once more, another message, more breaking news. She knew it wouldn't just end with the rally. The real challenge was coming, and they were only beginning to scratch the surface. Could they support each other through the inevitable storms ahead? Lily's heart sank as she stared at the screen. The latest notification read, "In-depth interview, how Lily's past haunts her in the fight for justice." Panic gripped her for a moment. What more would they reveal? "Lily, breathe," Emily said, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Let us see what it says." With a shaky finger, Lily tapped the article, her eyes darting down the lines. The words twisted as they delved deeper into her backstory, the mistakes she'd made, the moments of weakness, and how they painted those experiences in shades of doubt. "They're making it sound like I'm a lost cause," Lily murmured, feeling a flush of anger bubbling within her. "Why do they always have to sensationalize everything?" "Because it sells," Alex replied, his tone steady as he leaned closer. "But they can't take away your truth. You own that." Lily took a deep breath, grounding herself with the steadiness of her friends. Their presence reminded her of what was truly important. "I can't let this distract me. I need to focus on the rally. This is about more than me." As the three of them returned to their planning, excitement began to seep back in. They huddled around the makeshift table strewn with flyers, social media drafts, and notes, each item capturing the mix of hope and determination. "Let us use this," Sarah chimed in through a video call. "If they want to dissect your life, let us give them something substantial to chew on. Harness that energy, show your journey, not just the struggles but the strength, too." "Exactly," Alex added, a spark igniting in his eyes. "It's about what you're trying to change. Show the people that you're here to fight not just for yourself, but for others like you." Lily nodded, feeling a fire reignite inside her. It was vulnerable, but what if her past could empower others? What if it helped someone else find their own voice? "We can build a narrative that highlights resilience. I could share moments of growth, of learning, of coming together despite the odds. Let us do this," Emily exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. They spent the next hour drafting a video script, weaving together Lily's backstory with the mission for the rally. The air buzzed with creativity and passion, and for the first time that day, Lily felt lighter. This was a chance to reshape the narrative not just for herself, but for everyone who felt trapped by their pasts. As they wrapped up, Lily looked around at her friends. "You guys really believe in this?" "Yes," they said in unison, their faces filled with unwavering support. But as the excitement settled, another thought slid into the back of her mind. What if the backlash was worse than she anticipated? What if sharing her story opened doors to even greater scrutiny? A knock on the door startled them. It was a courier delivering a box. Inside was a package of printed articles, each detailing their movement and, more importantly, the darkness surrounding it. Lily's heart raced again. "Do I really want the world to see all of this?" "You can handle it. You're so much stronger now," Emily encouraged, squeezing her hand. "And besides," Alex added with a teasing grin, "the world deserves to know the real Lily, the fighter." Lily chuckled nervously but then realized how true those words felt. She could be that phoenix. There was power in vulnerability. But right then, another notification popped up on her phone, a live feed video of a well-known critic going off on her story, declaring the rally a disaster waiting to happen. "Now what?" Lily whispered. The storm was brewing, and in the midst of her rising courage, doubt began to creep back in. Would she become the voice of change she aspired to be, or would the weight of negative attention pull her back down? They were at the edge of something big, but would she be ready to face whatever was waiting for her? "Lily, look!" Emily shouted, drawing Lily's gaze back to the screen. "It's trending. People are starting to share your story." Lily squinted at the comments flooding in. Some were supportive, voices lifting her up, but there were others harsh, biting, dismissive. The critic had unleashed a firestorm of opinions, and the world was watching. Each notification felt like a punch, shaking her resolve. "They're tearing her apart," Lily mumbled, her heart tightening. "What if they're right? What if I really am just a washed-up failure?" Alex moved beside her. You're not a failure. You fought to be here, and those voices, they don't matter. Focus on the ones who believe in you. His words flickered warmth through her, but doubt still whispered in her ear. Just then, her phone buzzed again, this time with a direct message from someone named Julia. Curiosity piqued, she clicked on it. Hi, Lily. I watched the video. I get it. I've struggled too, and I want to help. Lily's heart skipped a beat. Could this be the connection she needed? Help? How? She typed back, her fingers flying over the screen. Let us connect. I have some ideas to help turn this negativity into a movement together. We can bring more people in. The offer hung in the air, promising a possible ally in this storm. But as the excitement tinged with hope bubbled inside her, another notification rang out from the critic's feed, watch as the rally flops. Join me live at noon. Lily panicked. What should I do? I feel like I'm trapped in a bullseye. Emily leaned closer, her expression firm. You need to face this. Don't let their fears be yours. Join that live stream. Flip the narrative. Be the story. Lily's mind raced. It felt reckless, dangerous even, but hiding wouldn't solve anything. Before she could overthink it, she replied to Julia, I want to chat. Let us turn this into something powerful. The words felt both foreign and exhilarating. Taking a deep breath, she looked back at her friends. Let us do it. I'll join the live stream. Alex's eyes sparkled with determination. We're with you all the way. As the clock ticked down, they prepped for what felt like just a moment, but weighed on them as if it were an eternity. Seconds slipped into minutes, and Lily felt her heart race with each passing beat. What if it all went wrong? What if the world saw her not as a fighter but as a failure? In the last moments before the live broadcast, Lily saw her friends set up the camera. Their presence reminded her of love and support. This isn't just my story anymore, she whispered. It's our fight. Finally, it was showtime. Lily took a deep breath and clicked the link to join the live video. Instantly, thousands of eyes were on her, peering through the screen like a flood of judgment and curiosity. Here goes nothing, she muttered, heart pounding. The critic's voice rang out first, sharp and sardonic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Today, we're talking about the impending disaster known as the rally led by our friend, Lily. You want to miss this. Lily clenched her fists. She wouldn't be defined by someone else's narrative anymore. Wait! She yelled, surprising even herself as the words burst out. Before you judge, let me share my story. With that, Lily felt a rush of adrenaline. Was this the moment she'd been waiting for? Would her voice transform doubt into hope, or would it crumble under pressure? In that whirlwind of potential, she readied herself to confront not just the critic, but every lingering fear that had followed her for so long. What came next would change everything. Would it be the start of a movement or a downfall? Lily didn't know, but she was about to find out. Lily sat up a little straighter and took another deep breath as she glanced at the still flashing comments. The urgency in her chest mirrored the world counting down before her on the live stream. She could feel the weight of their expectations. It was overwhelming. Hey, everyone. I know there's been a lot said about me lately, she began, her voice trembling but growing stronger with each word. I'm here to tell my side. This isn't just some reality show gone wrong. This is real. I've struggled, and I'm still struggling. As she spoke, faces began to flicker through her mind, her parents who barely understood, friends who had faded away, and those voices telling her she didn't belong. Those memories wove into her words, grounding her in something deeper. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes, sure. But I've fought to come back from them. I'm here today because I believe in hope, in change, in fighting back against the negativity. She saw the live comments section flood with reactions. Some were harsh, but others were starting to show hints of support. She picked up on it, riding the wave of emotions. A comment popped up, "But what do you really stand for, Lily?" "Great question." She replied, feeling the energy swell within her. "I stand for everyone who has ever felt like they don't matter. For every voice that has been drowned out. I'm here to remind you that we can turn pain into purpose." With every word, her confidence built like a storm. Each time she felt doubt creep in, there was a flicker of warmth from her friends sitting just off screen, nodding their encouragement. "Look, I might not have all the answers," she continued, warming to the topic, "but I know we can use what hurts us to create something powerful. We can build a community. I want to hear your stories too. Together, we can rise." The comments began to shift in tone. People were sharing their struggles, echoing her sentiments. Some wrote about feeling lost in a world that had little sympathy for missteps. Others talked about fighting their own battles: addiction, depression, loss. Lily's heart expanded with each shared experience. We're not alone. She became almost the conductor of this erratic symphony of voices. That's the beauty of it. We are in this together like never before. As momentum carried her, she spotted Julia watching, her expression thoughtful yet hopeful. It infused Lily with even more determination. This could spark something real, something lasting. Then, there were whispers across the stream. Skepticism mingled with awe. "Why should we trust you?" one viewer asked, fueling the fire. "What if this is just a stunt?" "I get that," Lily replied, her voice steady now. "Trust is hard. I've broken trust too. But today, I'm asking for a chance, one conversation at a time. Let us build that trust. Let us lean into this together." The time on the countdown clock started ticking down. The critical voice of her opponent echoed in her head, but she silenced it with her determination. She was no longer just a target in someone else's game. She was a force, a person with a purpose. "Let us do this," she concluded, a small smile creeping into her eyes. "I'm ready to fight alongside you. If you take that leap of faith with me, I promise I'll meet you there." The comments surged again, a mix of shouts of agreement and people who still couldn't believe. But she no longer cared if they believed or not. She believed in herself finally. As her finger hovered over the end stream button, a feeling washed over her unlike anything she had experienced before, a connection that ran deeper than likes or shares. Before she signed off, a glowing notification flashed on her screen. "Wow, just wow. You really are something special, Lily." And in that moment, Lily watched the words unfold before her like a new chapter. What had begun as a battle turned into a call to arms, and she could feel the tide shifting. But beneath the exhilarating rush, a question lingered. Could she really lead this movement, or was she walking a precarious line? The live stream ended, but Lily left the virtual space with a burning resolve to see where this path would take her next. The real challenge awaited, and she was ready to embrace whatever came next. Lily stood at the community center, the weight of her journey pressing down, yet the air was electric with anticipation. The rally was just moments away, a culmination of hope and hard-earned strength. Her heart raced as she glanced around, catching the sight of familiar faces: neighbors, supporters, people who had shared their struggles with her. This was her moment to not just share her story but to uplift theirs too. "Are you ready?" Emily asked, bouncing on her toes beside her, the thrill visible on her face. Lily took a deep breath, tasting both excitement and fear. "As ready as I'll ever be." Behind them, Alex approached. His expression was serious but warm. "You've already made such an impact, Lily. Remember, this is your stage, and we're all here to support you." The confidence in Alex's voice sparked something within her. She was no longer just a maid or an underdog fighting for recognition. She was a voice for the community, a beacon in the storm. As the crowd filled the hall, the murmur of voices made a symphony of solidarity. It wasn't just about her anymore. They had rallied together, ready to take a stand against stigma and inequality. Each person held their own story, woven into the fabric of this movement. When she stepped onto the stage, the spotlight felt surreal, warm like the sunlight she had yearned for during the darkest times. Her heart raced, not with fear but with purpose. She cleared her throat, the silence falling around her. "Thank you all for being here," she started, her voice gaining strength. "Today, we're not just here to listen and talk. We're here to demand recognition. Our strength, our stories, and our lives matter." The crowd erupted in applause, their cheers fueling her fire. As she continued, she spoke not just of her past but of their collective struggles. "I know what it feels like to be looked down upon, to be defined by your circumstances. But together, we can redefine that narrative." With each word, messages of empowerment and resilience resonated through the hall. Faces lifted, some wide-eyed with hope, others with tears of recognition. Let this be the day we stand tall, not just for ourselves but for every dream that has been squashed. We are not victims, we are warriors. As she passionately recounted stories of women doing remarkable things against all odds, she sensed the shift in energy. The air crackled with unity and strength. By the time she finished, it felt like the walls themselves were vibrating with applause. Tears streamed down her face, not of sadness, but of sheer joy for finally being heard and understood. Emily and Alex joined her on stage, their presence solidifying the bond they had built through their journey. Each of them shared their own experiences, creating a tapestry of truth that enveloped the crowd. They offered not just hope, but a call to action, bringing everyone together to collaborate on vital changes needed in their community. When the rally concluded, they stepped outside, greeted by the bright rays of the sun, illuminating a path ahead. "You did it, Lily!" Emily exclaimed, pulling her into a tight hug, tears shining in her eyes. "I couldn't have done it without all of you," Lily said, feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. Alex grinned, radiating admiration. "This isn't the end, it's just the beginning. Look at how many people connected today." As they embraced the reality of their impact, Lily felt that familiar flicker of doubt creeping in again, threatening to dim her glow. What if this is just a moment in time? She questioned quietly. Alex met her gaze, unwavering. "Every movement starts small. Remember that pressure creates diamonds, and we're each one of those diamonds. Together, we can make real, lasting change." With the sun setting on the horizon, casting golden hues over the city, Lily felt renewed purpose flow through her veins. "We'll keep pushing forward, won't we?" "Absolutely," echoed Emily. As the three friends walked back into the heart of their community, laughter and excitement filled the air. They had taken the first step in redefining their stories, and the road ahead was gleaming with possibility. Together, they could and would make a difference, and with that realization, Lily knew with every ounce of her heart, the storm might come, but they would weather it as one, stronger than any force the world could throw their way. This was the dawn of new beginnings, where love, hope, and solidarity paved the way for a brighter tomorrow. Now, as you reflect on this powerful journey of transformation, it's time to take your own step forward. You need to subscribe to the channel right now so you don't miss out on exclusive stories that inspire change. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Every click counts. Comment below your thoughts and feelings about Lily's incredible transformation. And please, share instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this uplifting story. Don't wait not even one more second. Join the movement and be part of something bigger.